Judge Bill, welcome to the platform. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Jerome?
I'm doing good. It's 2022,
Yeah.
New year. Hopefully,
my favorite numbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, but in high school, I was number 20, and then I went off on a basketball scholarship at Auburn University, and there was two people that wanted number 20, and I signed my papers later than hers for my scholarship. So I lost number 20, and I ended up being number 22, and then I transferred from Auburn to Memphis and got my number 20 back. So 20 and 22, like those numbers together, have always been my favorite numbers. So 2022 is going to be a year of great, amazing things,
and so
I believe.
I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
Better baller, better hooper, or better judge?
I think I'm good at both. Just got to be honest with you. I always say, I serve in the community on and off the bench, right? So as an athlete, you get on the bench, you get off the bench.
Right.
And I'm in the court. I'm in the court no matter what I'm doing.
Like a double entendre.
I think I'm fairly good at both. It's different skill sets.
Right.
I'm not competitive on the court. I'm listening to both sides to make a decision.
Right.
On the court, I'm competitive.
Right.
I'm trying to defend you. I'm also trying to score on you. So it's hard to put those two together. But I would just say I'm good at both.
This is like a lot of play on words because you really never left the court, even though you left the court.
That's right. So I call it riding the bench and serving the community on and off the bench.
You still got skills though on the basketball score.
You can take it out on my campaign. I'm going for my third term, so I did a 3-point video while I'm playing and shooting threes. Like I'm going for my three. Right, I'm going for my third term, so I figure I'm a basketball player. So I laced up my J's.
Do you get out there and still do some like actual competitive hooping, or you? Okay, all right.
You can check me out on Facebook. I just played my basketball in the little. My dad did some basketball at the little home gym.
Okay,
so that's a little fun.
Okay. Oh, see, hey, we gotta
stay active.
Yeah, true.
It's my first love too. I mean, you don't give that up, right?
Yeah. Nah, I thought I was going pro, but everything don't work out.
Hey,
Yeah. Nah, I thought I was gonna do it. It was looking good. But. We all can't go to the league, We all can't go to the league. So, Nashville native. That's right. Me and you both. We're unicorns. Okay. North Nashville. North Nashville.
How many generations with you?
I'm a mini grandmama. I'm gonna tell you how far I go back. Okay. My grandmother on my mama's side sung with Bobby Jones. Okay. Temple Church. Okay. And then my grandmother on my father's side, teacher at Haynes Haynes Elementary, Whites Creek. All that. So it go way back.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So my great grandparents were here too. So 4 generations on mine. Great grandparents, grandparents, my parents, and myself. So unicorns. We're rare. Right?
Yeah, we're rare. Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. Like, just how has how have you seen Nashville change and grow over time? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
It used to be a small town with a big city, and now it's a big city. But I think the networks are you still know somebody within three people, 3 degrees of separation. So Nashville is still small, and who knows who, but at the same time, it's a big city. And so seeing it grow, I've been very proud to see our city maneuver and grow in the way that it has. I would like to see us have more resources and infrastructure in the community, which, I was raised in North Nashville, and I know that the city is looking at that now. It's our turn, I say. And sometimes you save the best for last. I know reasons why. Right. As a judge, I don't get too opinionated in some of those spaces. Right. But I'm a very optimistic person. I try to see us moving forward in a positive way. So I'm excited about the growth for Nashville.
What area of North Nashville do you?
My family's from North Nashville and also Bordeaux, North Nashville. So 9th Street, State Street.
I gotta ask you this.
My family, Queens Lane,
Clarksville Highway. Same people.
Queens Lane, Janet Hills, all that.
Haynes, Gold Key. Yeah. Chateau Valley. So I got a question now. I grew up in that area too. I went to. I'm finna say it. I went to Bordeaux. Bordeaux. Is it really?
It's Bordeaux. When we try to put slang on it, you say Bordeaux. It's Bordeaux.
We know it's Bordeaux, but that's how I distinguish if you're a unicorn
we all
or
say
not.
It if we want
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Buchanan, Buchanan.
Buchanan.
Buchanan. And so, just very quickly, General Sessions Judge, can you kind of take us through your daily routine as a General Sessions Judge, and kind of some of your roles that you play? the role that you play?
As a general sessions court judge, we rotate on a multi-layer docket schedule. So 1 week, I may be dealing with people that are mentally ill, aren't taking their medicine, or just recently diagnosed and need to be committed to the psychiatric ward for a period of time to get themselves healthy, not being a threat to themselves or others. On another week, I'll be over the felony jail docket, all the people that were arrested in the city of Nashville that committed felonies. On another week, I'll be over the misdemeanor jail docket, all those that committed a misdemeanor. Another week, I'll be over civil, which will be all of the landlord-tenant matters, debt collection matters, car accidents. Another week, I'll be over traffic, so all of the traffic stops for breaking the law, the rules of the road will come before us. And then we also have our specialty courts, some of the other courts that I handle, the Music City Community Court, and I intertwine those dockets along those other dockets. We have an 8 criminal court rotation dockets, 2 civil rotations, and then we have the admin week, which we try to schedule meetings and community engagement in those meetings, and then try to just take care of administrative things we have in our office. But the Music City Community Court has added a number of different other courts. And so we've got the Restore Court, which are helping people get their records expunged, looking at their court costs, fines, and fees. We do that on Wednesday and Saturdays. We have the Care Diversionary Court, which is the first in the state of Nashville. Actually, the Music City Community Court is the first community court in the state of Tennessee, so not in the state of Nashville, but the state of Tennessee. We were able to get a grant with the United States Department of Justice in 2018, one of 5 courts selected to work with us to create the Care Court. Most courts don't understand that young adults ages 18 to 30 are still forming their cognitive ability. You could be 26 in one zip code and have formed your cognitive ability because of your experiences and your quality of life. You could be 30 in another community because of your zip code and your quality of life, where you're just now forming your cognitive ability. And so that's putting the science behind what's going on with people and their decisions. And a lot of the crimes are quality of life crimes. And so we've got the Care Diversionary Court for ages 18 to 30. It's a pretrial diversionary opportunity for young adults to go through, so they don't have to plead guilty, you don't have to have something on the record. When they get done, we dismiss their case, expunge their record as well. And then we have the Legacy Housing Resource Diversionary Court, which is a civil court, helping individuals, landlords, and tenants kind of get to resolve and finding funds for the tenant to pay the landlord so they can keep a roof over their heads and their family. And so those courts are very near and dear to me. I worked really hard to get them here in the city of Nashville. And so I'm really excited about that. And so all of those are up under the umbrella of the Music City Community Court, which is the specialty docket, which wasn't, what I was hired to do or elected to do, but I did tell the people that I would be involved on and off the bench, and in developing this community court was exactly what I meant. So it's outside of the walls of the Justice Birch building. It's over in the Magruder Center in zip code 3728, and we move it around into communities as needed.
No, I think both of those courts, the Music City Community Court in the Legacy Court, I think because one, I think a lot of people are getting more hip and starting to figure out more restorative than punishment, and I feel like that the Music City Community Court focuses on that, right?
Yeah, that alone. So the Music Community Court is the name of all the courts that go up under it. The restorative courts, that's Care Court, Restore Court, and Legacy. So 3 courts are up underneath the Music City Community Court. It's its own branch away from the normal General Sessions Division 8.
And so, do you think that in the future going forward, that we could have more judges can take more of a restorative approach?
I think they are in the city of Nashville. I think, I always brag on us for the city of Nashville. We have a recovery court that handles people that are dealing with drug addiction, and those are diseases that we're trying to help.
Right. We've
got a mental health court that deals with the mental health disparities and things that are going on. We've got a veterans court. We've got a sex trafficking court. So the city of Nashville, we even have a homeless court. So the city of Nashville, I do believe, is on the cutting edge all across the country of looking at restorative justice, and we've been doing that for better more of 20 years. So I think the community doesn't know about it unless they're in trouble. So if you're in trouble, then you know about these restorative justice courts. As marketing and getting the word out, better would be, helpful for us as a body. And I know I've tried very hard to get the word out of different things that we're doing. But I would say that we're spot on. I think we have every court we can possibly have. right now at this time in the city of Nashville. So we're spot on with everything, and I don't think it's a new concept.
Right.
It's just we're in the state of Tennessee, and so sometimes
Right.
it takes us a while to catch up to New York and some of the other states that have already started this type of restorative justice work.
Yeah, and I think when you say a lot of people don't know unless you have to go to court, I think that's where a lot of the narratives are coming from, especially around mental health. I know MNPD now is working with the mental health co-op on the the
mobile
name
crisis.
The mobile crisis,
right.
yeah,
and
with
bringing somebody to social worker.
Exactly. And trying to figure out how to navigate and not trying to, jail mental health cases, but come up with different initiatives and alternatives to make sure they get the actual help.
And I would say I was one of the individuals that was working with Darren Hall, who is our sheriff. Mm-hmm. During that time, I was a presiding judge for General Sessions Court when we were coming up with the concept, and he led the charge on having the BCC, which is the behavioral care center that we have downtown Nashville. So people that have mental illness can go there, and it's a more holistic space to try to get them to wholeness, because ultimately we're trying to not incarcerate these diseases that people have, and just trying to help them understand a better way to approach their mental health and their issues, and how to get their medicine, make sure they see their therapist, and make sure they work through the challenges that they may have.
So we're in a pandemic,
right?
And I know the legacy court is kind of directly tries to intentionally address what happens in housing because of the pandemic. Right. How has the pandemic affected the courtroom?
Well, I want to clarify, because a lot of people think we started this housing resource diversionary court because of the pandemic. We were working on this in 2019.
Okay.
All of 2019, long before COVID, long before the tornado. And when the mayor had found out that I was working on it, I got a call from his senior advisor and said, "Hey, we heard that you're working on this housing resource diversionary court. Can you help the city out?" And I looked at it, I talked to my team, we said yes. So we were creating this housing resource diversionary court for MDHA, working with MAC, and it was a Metro ran program for people that are receiving government assistance and those that are on Section 8 or living in MDHA property. And so it was just an easy shift to get it ready for private landlords and private tenants that weren't dealing with Metro, Department of Housing Authority, or that weren't dealing with receiving Section 8 funds or subsidies. And so when it came time, yes, the pandemic was here and we were ready to go. So I always want to tell people, hey, we didn't create this for the pandemic or as a response to the pandemic. We were already ready to go. And so sometimes you just listen to a vision. I believe for me, all the things we've created was something that God gave me an idea. I met with the right people to see how we put it together. And we led the charge. And so I'm very proud of the work that we've done. We've been recognized federally, nationally. I had an opportunity with President Biden's senior advisor, Gene Sperling, to present at the United States Housing Eviction Prevention Summit.
Oh, wow.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Congratulations on that. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Thank you. And, it's a testament to our city coming together, Metro Action Commission, who's led by Dr. Cynthia Kroom, and then our mayor, who even applied for the United States federal Treasury funds called Emergency Rental Assistance Funds. Without that commitment from our city, we wouldn't have been able to be recognized from the government. Come to find out, we were one of the only courts created, ready to go in the nation. And I didn't know that. I was like, oh, wow, we're one of the only ones ready to do this in a more streamlined way. So kudos to the team and the people that worked for us to put this together. Legal Aid Society was an instrumental partner in the very beginning as well. So, Catholic Charities and some other organizations, I'm very proud of the work that we put together to launch.
What has been some of the challenges that the pandemic has caused in just people getting to court, being in court, trying to pivot that whole situation and still making sure, cases can be handled and dealt with, and people not sitting in jail, people can get out of jail, whatever it may be?
Well, for a while, the courts were closed.
Yeah.
And then we had a limit on how many people could come to court. And so with my court, I had to go virtual for the whole year because of my diabetes and my thyroid condition. And I was on the 36-inch monitor, and I had my staff all with laptops so I could hear and see everything that I needed so that the courts could still be open, at least with my division. But I would say that our team did a great job, and we were able to create a virtual docket where we could have court, where people could be, in their car parked or at their home. And we were hearing cases. And then also people that were incarcerated, we created a jail docket, virtual jail docket, where the sheriff's office did a great job putting up cubicles and different stations for the people that were incarcerated to be able to present their case with their attorney virtually so that those cases could be heard. So it took us a minute to pivot, that's the word, transition to virtual court and virtual opportunities. But we were able to do that. And so the General Sessions Court never closed. We just had different dockets that were open, the priority. And so those priorities were the ones with people that were in jail. And so our jail dockets were always open. We didn't close opportunities for that. But if somebody was quarantined or somebody was tested positive for COVID, that did have some challenges. And just like a few years ago when we had the scabies breakout in jail, we had to work that out. So we learned how to maneuver with technology and getting in the equipment through the CARES grant funding to make sure that in any crisis or anything goes on with the city that we'll be able to still move forward, because people's freedom and then also having the right to a fair and speedy trial and or hearing is important. And so I was an advocate for it. I know Public Defender Chief Martisha Johnson was, and so was our General Attorney General, District Attorney General Funk was very instrumental in getting that done. So it just takes time. Everything doesn't happen immediately, but it takes time to put the pieces together. But there were some challenges, but I think weekly we had meetings and we made adjustments as quick as we possibly could.
You talked a little bit about fines and things like that earlier. And one big fine that a lot of people, a lot of the narratives that is happening right now in the community is cash bail reform, money bail reform. Many people don't agree with just placing a price on a body. And it seems like it benefits the poor and hurts the marginalized, which are either black folks or poor white folks. What are some alternatives that you can think about, or that you may even see kind of talks happening amongst the judges now to cash bail here in Nashville?
Well, I would say about 6 years ago, we applied for a grant. And again, at the time, I was a presiding judge for General Sessions Court. And we looked at money bail, we looked at cash bail reform, and we worked to put together a pretrial process for nonviolent offenders. And for those that were violent offenders, looking at criteria to see whether or not they should have a bail or not, if they should have a cash bond or not. But we put together a pretrial in different levels, if they need to be supervised or not be supervised. And I know significantly most of the people that come before us are released on their own recognizance, or they are given pretrial and maybe a GPS monitor if needed. I do know that, we have transitioned tremendously, and I'm very proud of the work we're doing. We can always continue to do better in that space, but the city of Nashville took an effort 6 years ago, and now people are talking more and more about it. But if you look and comb through and look at the bonds and the people that are still being incarcerated that are nonviolent, they're far and few between. Those that are violent, they're a harm or threat to themselves or others, they're a risk for public safety for the city of Nashville, usually will have a bond, and you may not fully know the scope or the background of the particular person why bond was put on that particular person. But a lot of the time that bond is put on that person not just to hold them in jail, but it's because there may be a flight risk, or they may be a harm to society. So a lot of those will be people that unfortunately are mentally ill because we need to get them to treatment. Some of those may be drug addicts or dealing with that disease. And so we're trying to get them detoxed, triaged, so that we can get them. And then we have hearings right now within 5 days, but I know that we're looking to have them within 24 to 48 hours. So we have night court commissioners, and we are able to hear cases 24/7. It's just a matter of streamlining the effort. So there's some work that's still being done, right. But we're on the cutting edge of it for the state of Tennessee. I would say that.
Me and you can be charged with the same offense.
Correct.
My bond may be $10,000, and we might have this. We can even have this a similar, criminal record or no record, right? Mm-hmm. My bond could be $10,000, yours could be $20,000. Mm-hmm. Is there a system that kind of can you help us make sense of that? Why?
It's looking at the background.
Okay.
So you're looking at their criminal charges, not just in Tennessee, but it's called an NCIC. We look all across the United States. How many times did they fail to appear? Mm-hmm. How many times have they been arrested? Mm-hmm. How many times have they had a probation violation? How many times have they not done what they're supposed to do? Right. And so it just depends. You look at it on a case-by-case basis. Do they have somewhere to live? Are they homeless? Okay. Do they have a job? Are they a harm or threat to society? What's their family situation? There's a number of different things that are looked at. What's their ties to the community? And sometimes we have people on bond and they can pay for it. Right. But their parents or community will come and say, no, we want him to get the treatment. Right. So it's not so much the bond is set because of a person individually. There's a lot of things that go into looking at what's going on with this particular person.
Is it any kind of, scale? Is it a scale that exists that helps magistrates, or
they have criteria to review and look at, and then they look at the case. Okay. And so a lot of people don't have access to all of the systems that the police have, that the public defender has, the district attorney has, and then also our criminal court clerk has. And so we try to make sure some people, we may not know they've broken the law in Rutherford County, or there's a warrant for their arrest in Cheatham County. So we have to comb through all that and see what's going on.
Okay. Going back to the virtual and just the courtroom itself, I participated in Court Watch before. I know that's a thing. I think the community, I think it's a great thing that the community can use, one, to hold judges accountable, and when it's times like this, when it's judicial elections, they can go back and have data. How did this judge perform? And everybody's going to view the justice system differently, right? But it's an opportunity for community and our right to be able to see what's going on, how our judges is performing, how they best serving the community. What are your thoughts on Court Watch as a judge, and kind of what it does for community and the information that it provides for the community?
I think it's amazing. I think that we're open to the public. As long as you're not disrupting what's going on and you're there to watch. Some people take off of work or they're on vacation and they just want to see what's going on. Right. For some people, they really want to hold judges accountable. For some people, they just want to be entertained. Mm-hmm. For some people, they would just want to watch a case to see how it's transpiring. For some people, it's not really watching the judge, it's just watching the court process. How does the court itself run? Right. For some people, it's looking to see how the district attorney is giving offers and how they're treating people. Right. Sometimes it's looking at the criminal defense attorneys. Are they really representing the people, or are they being fair? Right. I believe the Court Watch is a phenomenal thing, and I think it's part of I think it's part of the constitutional right to be open to have access to see how our systems all work. You can go to the legislature and watch. You can go to any of the council meetings and watch. You can go to any of the mayor chamber meetings and watch. Right. You can go a little bit anywhere except for somebody's doctor's appointment. Right. To go watch what's going on. Right. You can't go to the jail per se, but you can sign up.
You can go if you want to.
Well, no, you can't just show up to the jail unless the person has said that you're somebody that can.
But what I'm saying, you can, if you want an inside look at jail, there's things you can do to get in there.
No, the public can't get an inside look.
I'm saying if they want to do something
to break the law?
Break the law to get in there.
No. I'm talking about the stuff you can do to not break the law.
But not break the law.
I want to keep it fair and straight up. Right. There's public access to everything that's going on with our system, the legislature, the executive branch, as well as the judicial branch. And so hopefully don't break the law to go see some of the systems. But, there's people that have broken the law and they're in the system. And I love sitting down and talking with them to see how they think things could be done differently? What did they experience? How did they learn? How did they grow? There's always constructive criticism for all of us, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what did they take from it? And so I'm always asking about the people, like how does this make you feel? How does that make you feel? How does the All Rise make you feel? How does this make you feel?
Right.
And so I make adjustments dealing with the people, because I said I'm elected by the people, for the people. And so I'm focused on the people, and that's why I'm focused on restorative justice.
You're a Black woman.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You can tell from the hair.
Well, hey, look, but you're Black psychologically and physically. It hasn't always been easy for Black women. Still not.
That's true.
How has being a Black woman judge? How's that experience been for you?
Honestly, it's been I can't say smooth. I think anytime that you're a leader, you're gonna deal with people that may want you to do some things differently. They may not fully respect you. I remember when I first got on the bench, as a female, let's just start there. It was first, yes, it's always been tough for African Americans, but just being a female on the bench, they would say, "Yes, Your Honor," or and "Yes, Your Honor," they would say, "Yes, sir," sometimes, right? And they do this not just to me, but to other female judges, because people are used to saying yes, sir, or yes, Your Honor, which is fine because I am a judge, yes, Your Honor. But it would then after yes, Your Honor, they would forget to say yes, ma'am sometimes, or yes, So that was interesting at first, and I would ask some of the other female judges, do they accidentally call you a sir sometimes? They're like, yeah, it happens all the time. I was like, okay, because I'm real chill. Nothing really phases me, to be honest with you. I don't take anything personal, because I don't believe that people just wake up and want to take something out on anybody in general, especially if you're not in a relationship with them and you don't know them and you're just trying to get through. Most people, it's their worst day.
Right.
And for others, it's their most frustrating day when they're having to come before the court to get something done and resolved.
Right.
So I would say that in general is just judges are very unique people that have to handle unique circumstances. So has it been difficult as a African American female judge and the youngest judge? I think when I first started, I was 30. I just turned 34 because I ran when I was 33, and a lot of people thought I wasn't experienced enough.
Right.
But come to find out, I was well versed and smart enough. So I think in the first year they're like, no, she's spot on. She understands what she's doing.
Right.
There was a learning curve, and so I really appreciate Judge Dalton, who was the first African American judge elected in Davidson County, and I was the second female African American judge elected. She mentored me for a period of time, and then some other female judges, Chancellor McCoy gave me some guidance. Judge Amanda McClendon would give me some guidance. Judge Barbara Haynes would give me some guidance. Judge or Chancellor Bonnyman. So we have a good collegial respect for each other. Judge Marietta Shipley was very instrumental in my success. But you need to ask other people that have done it, other people that have been through the challenges. And then as an African American, we've been challenged our whole life. So you already walk in the gate knowing you're going to have some challenges. Right. So as a basketball player, I already walk in the gate knowing I'm going to have some competition. Right. And I may not perform as well on defense. They may keep shooting on me. I may not perform as well hitting my shots on the first run. Right. But once I get my rhythm, I'm going to perform. So I wouldn't say that I would not say it's been challenging. Right. I will say that it's the nature of the profession. I'll say that. I haven't had any discriminatory approaches where I'll say, man, this has been discriminatory towards me. I'm a pivot this a little bit. In our community, in the Black community, when we know we've already, it's already pressure. We already have had a unique experience as Black folks in the United States than anybody else, especially historically when it comes to the criminal legal system. You being a Nashville native, 3-4 generations, has it been tough navigating those two components, being from Nashville, being African American woman, knowing that I work in a system that historically has done Black folks wrong? There's been disparities in this system. Now I'm trying to do my best to be impartial to the court system itself
in the people that come in front of me, but also knowing like, you know, it hasn't really been equitable for people that look like me. And we hard on each other. When I see Judge Bell, she look like me, she from the same city as me, I may be expecting Judge Bell to know, come on, like help me out, you know, help a brother out, or, you know, come on, give our community something maybe exclusive to us because of our history, because of our presence. Has that weighed on you? Have people brought that to you from the black community here in Nashville? Have those conversations come up?
I'll say I ran on it. That I'm Rachel Bell, you know, I'm an attorney, and that I'm going to work to make sure that my community understands the system better. I'm going to be visible. I'm going to create initiatives. I'm going to look at the recidivism rate. I'm going to work on restorative justice. I ran on that before I was ever a judge. So I told everybody I was going to do it. I said I'm going to start the community court. I said I'm going to bring it to the community, and I did. I started a community court. I brought it to Bordeaux North, where I created the Bordeaux North Community Justice Center in Magruder Center. I've been on the front lines. I've been in the trenches. And then in the meetings, the senior meetings for the city, I'm an advocate for my community. I'm an advocate for my race. I'm an advocate for my gender. I'm an advocate for my sexuality because I have a seat at the table. When it comes time for me to make a decision, I look at both sides and I make a neutral decision, but I'm always looking at the best interests of both parties. Sometimes both sides need justice. I'm looking at how do I make the victim whole, but how do I also look at this situation that's going on with this defendant or the offender, and what did they do? And so I'm tough. And most people tell you, they're like, that's my judge. She put me in jail, but she saved my life. That's my judge. So I'm not going to give you a break because I'm from your community. What I am going to do is look and peel back the onion and see, swim upstream and see what really is causing this problem. And then I'm going to look in there and see how we fix it and give you some more classes, maybe give you a little bit more restorative justice, help you navigate through these waters a little bit better. It's my focus. So you're not going to get a break because you're from North Nashville. You're not going to get a break because you're black. You're not going to get a break because you're gay. You're not going to get a break because you're female. But I am going to take all of my experiences and look at what's going on with you and see what we can do to get you whole while still making sure that the victim is whole. So that's kind of how I handle it. And I believe most people feel like it's fair and it's just. And because I want both sides to feel whole. How did we get here? And then how do we fix it? Not today, but going forward. So that that's why I named the Housing Resource Diversion and Court Legacy, so that your children's children and your community will have a better legacy. Not just you individually. We got to do this together. So I'm always looking at both sides.
Nashville is growing. 100 people, something like that a day moving here, right? More people, essentially, I guess more people, more crime, right? 2022 judicial election coming up. Nashville is growing. People are moving here. All kinds of people from all over the world. What does Judge Rachel Bell see as the future of the criminal legal system here in Nashville with the influx of growth?
I think it's going to be more restorative. I know that we're looking at, there's different people coming from all across like you said, all around the world. The world is restorative. New Zealand has a way that they bring people that have broken the law and they put them in nice apartments that look great, and they're trying to help them get skills and help them get educated. New York is removing, or they have removed all cash bond and bail. New Jersey has done it. The world is changing. We're looking at what's fair now. We're looking at what was the history. I know that in Tennessee, which is unfortunate, and I can say this, I think history, I'm a history buff. I love it. I teach at Fisk University as an adjunct professor with the Leadership and Social Justice Institute. And I think you have to understand your history so that first we don't repeat it, also so that we learn from it, and then we can respect it. And so allowing our children not to learn their history and others not to know what their ancestors did, whether it was right or wrong, you can respect it, and then you can make sure that you do better.
Right.
And so I think our country is changing a lot, but bringing new people in, they know what happened, and they're willing to get on the front lines. They're willing to boycott situations. They're willing to march for certain things. They're willing to picket and make sure that the leadership of the city is focused on the people. You know, like I said, I'm elected for the people, by the people.
Right.
I'm not focused on government and big business. I'm focused on what do we do to help marginalize and the least of these. And I believe the people that are moving here want to have a good life in Nashville, definitely, and they are entertained. You know, Nashville's an entertainment place, but I think they also have a heart to care about the people, and that's what I'm seeing with the people that are moving here, and the people like us, unicorns. I think we've always cared. It's just we didn't have our voice being heard, and the leadership wasn't able to maneuver. But that's also, we're just now getting opportunities to be leaders too. So you can't sit here and say, oh, well, it's been 50 years. Yes, that's true. But also remember, my mom and dad integrated their schools. I'm the first generation that was able to go to a school that there was no need to integrate.
Wow.
So you have to think about that. I'm the second ever African-American female judge ever elected in Davidson County back in 2012. So I mean, we're making strides, but just remember, we're only two and a half generations away from sharecropping and slavery. So we can't, it's unfortunate, especially being African American. But like I said, I'm always optimistic, and I'm looking, are we better than we were yesterday? And how can we continue to be better with our opportunities and our responsibilities? We've got to have, when we have a seat at the table, we've got to be vocal, but we also have to be educated. We can't just be like, oh, this matters and this matters and this matters, but you don't have the data. You don't have the stats, and you don't have the information. I know it matters, but tell me how you're going to resonate it to everybody else so that they can then say, okay, we're going to look at this a little different, and we're going to change the budget, or we're going to change the initiatives and move more resources here because of this information, not just because you're yelling and screaming. You don't get very far with that.
What does justice mean to you?
Justice means freedom to me. And it's not just, people think justice is court or going to the legal system. No, justice means equal access to education, equal access to healthcare, equal access to shelter, equal access to food, equal access to love, equal access to peace, joy, and the opportunity to live. So that's justice. Martin Luther King made it popular, and it was in Amos, and justice to stream down like mighty waters. If you think about mighty waters, that means it's going to knock you over, right? Mighty waters means you can't even stand up. That means justice is supposed to stream down in a way that you can't even handle it. Like, thank you for my freedom. Thank you for my... You're supposed to have more than enough. That's justice, more than enough. But we can at least give each other the basic necessities. And so justice to me is everything.
Judge Rachel Bell, I appreciate your time. Any last words that you want to leave with our viewers and our listeners? Yes.
Ring the bell for justice in 2022. I'm going for my third term. Check out the website. It's www.judgerachelbell.com. And I want to continue serving in our city. So May 3rd, 2022.
I want to get in that 3-point contest. Okay, I'm a Firebird. City champs, all that. Look at the banners on the wall. Y'all go check that out. Yeah. Okay. I know you Hillsboro. I know Auburn University. All that. All that. You did your thing. But
we'll do a 3-point contest.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it after election, because I don't want to, cross you up and then be like, you cross
me up, I can still vote. Hey, I've gotten crossed up before. I still
come back. We all have. You play long enough.
I still come back.
You play long enough, you get crossed up.
What year was you at Proclaim?
I came out 20. Oh, well, dang, how long? Dang, it's been that long. 2008.
Okay, so I'm 8 years older than you.
Yeah.
Something like that.
A little more seasoned.
Maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah, a little more.
A whole lot more.
But I appreciate your time. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a great thing that you're doing, so keep up the good work.
We got, Nashville Nation. Somebody got to talk about what's going on in the city.
That's true. That's true. All right.